Hello people, it's me again, ranting and raving about Trafford. Right, we're going to go back to 2017 now. Throughout the Northwest, there was a big issue with what we call out of area drivers coming. So we had drivers coming from Rosendale, Darwin, we've got Wolverhampton. There's a loophole in the law what says hackney carriage can work as a private hire in a different area. So I sent an email to Trafford Council, to a guy called Stephen Byram. I asked him, how do they check out of area DBSs to make sure that the children on the home to school transport were sufficiently covered? You know what I mean? It's a legal requirement. So this is the response. Dear Mr. Ray, I refer to your Freedom of Information request dated the 18th of January 2017. Do TTCU, that's Trafford Transport Coordination Unit, check out of area PCV drivers DBSs on Trafford school runs, and how do you check them? Do Trafford Council hold a copy on file? His reply: TTCU have the legal agreement with the contractor whose legal responsibility is to employ drivers who have a valid licence. TTCU do spot checks. So, my reply to Mr. Byram: you avoided the question. I did not ask about licences, I asked about DBS checks. Here is a copy of a scrutiny report done by Trafford Council for Trafford Council, done on 26th of October 2015. Scrutiny have heard the Technical Association that direct responsibility for DBS checks lies with the operator in the obligations of the contract. However, they felt that the council would still be subject to public criticism if they had not been proper checks made. That the statutory guidance states that it is the responsibility of the local authority to ensure the suitability of contractors and their employees by undertaking DBS checks. Would lead most people to interpret that this is the council doing it. As I've said before, your replies are misleading and false, and I've sent you details of vehicles which break TCCU rules, still no action. Now, let me get to the good bit. Remember, this is the council who, where's it called? Come on, there it is. This is the council, who are responsible for doing the checks for children. They've been caught out. So this is the email Mr. Steve Byram sent to me in error. Every time we respond to this individual, he goes off on a different tangent. He clearly is unable to be honest. Whilst he may have information he wants an audience to deliver that to, now he wants an independent disability rights group to be involved. Yes, I do, and I offered to pay for it. We should not pamper him any longer. He has previously stated by me, an inflated self-importance. He was told to put up or shut up. Now here's the best bit. Is there a professional body that we can report him to? He's clearly not interested in the safety or well-being of the children being transported. He is a bitter and twisted person who lost out on the contract and is now showing his profession up to be a bunch of charlatans. Very good, Mr. Byram. I like your answer, But, sorry, I've got so many bits of paper here, Trafford Council don't know what the fuck they were doing. They didn't know they're making rules up about M1 and M2 vehicles. They didn't even know what an M1 or M2 vehicle was. Yeah. If Trafford Council was so good at your job, yeah, why didn't you have enough safety equipment for these vehicles? Yeah. You had to borrow equipment off me, and in the end you ended up buying it off me, or these children couldn't have gone to school. So, I worked with Trafford Council for a couple of years, yeah, and whilst doing these contracts, I witnessed lots of issues, including vehicles banned off the road until they're... Vehicles were banned off the road, i.e. VOSA have come in and done an inspection, and they have found a major fault with a vehicle. So these inspections usually happen when they've dropped the kids off at the school in the morning. VOSA will be waiting in the playground. Yeah, so these vehicles should have been either they're not allowed on the road until the repair's done, or they have to be transported to a garage until the repair's done. You cannot drive them back. Yeah. So in the end up, I gave up on TTCU. Yeah. I started working with the NHS, Motability UK, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and a private hotel, disabled hotel. During this time, one of my contracts involved taking out a young lady for social and interaction. But during the wet times in the year, or it was raining, yeah, young lady was in a wheelchair. The only places we could go were really supermarkets or shopping malls or anything like that. There was nothing in Trafford for disabled people. We used to travel over to Salford. There was a sensory room there, but they didn't have a changing place toilet or anything like that. So if the young lady had an accident, you're having to lie down on the floor to change her, which isn't desirable for anybody. There was a swing in Longford Park, Stretford. It was a specially constructed swing for disabled people in wheelchairs. Trafford Council, in their wisdom, didn't secure it, so basically anybody else could have come and mucked about on it. With things like this, they usually put a padlock on it with access with a radar key. If you don't know what a radar key is, it's a key what opens all the different toilets, disabled toilets in the UK. So every disabled person should have one of these keys, so they could have unlocked the swing, used it, and put the lock back on when they're finished. But a non-disabled person was mucking about on it. They injured themselves, and I'm not too sure, I can't remember it goes so far back. I do believe he sued the council. So the council removed the swing. So now we've got nothing for disabled people in Trafford. Then we see an advertisement in the paper that Trafford Council was spending £7.5 million, I think it was, on Urmston Leisure Centre refurbishment. And their idea of being disabled friendly was a ramp to get into the building and a grab rail next to the toilet. So with the mother of the young lady who I used to take out, we formed a group, TRAD, TRADD, Trafford Residents Against Disability Discrimination. So we went to the planning meeting, and myself, the mother, and some of the disabled supporters we had. So let me just jump in at that point, yeah. Trafford Council, I'm not too sure how much they spent, but it was millions, and I mean millions, refurbing the council. Yeah, so just remember that bit. Yeah, only just done. So, like I say, myself and the mother with some supporters went to go to the planning permission to object. And one of our supporters was in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair wouldn't fit in the lift. This is the brand new, basically, council building sort of thing, all modernised. So I walked up, well, I actually got the lift, I think, upstairs, and I approached the planning officer who's in chair of the meeting, and I just walked up to him and I said, "Excuse me, sir, one of our members, the wheelchair doesn't fit in the lift." And his response was, "I'm not prepared to postpone this meeting or move this meeting for anybody." So with that, I took a step back, raised my voice, and said, "Is that not disability discrimination? Banning a disabled person from a public meeting?" At that point, Councillor Jane Dillon was stood next to him, and she grabbed his arm, and she had a word in his ear, and the next thing, the meeting was moved downstairs, and all further meetings were over at Lancashire County Cricket Ground, because the council couldn't facilitate for disabled people. They don't even have a change in place toilet there. So, after many battles and a bit of expense to myself, we ended up getting £250,000 to spend on disabled stuff. So, in Urmston Leisure Centre now, it must be a 40-foot by 30-foot sensory room there, with overhead hoists. There's change in place toilets, and there is a wheelchair lift what lowers you into the swimming pool. Craig, the manager of Urmston Leisure, yeah. When we first met Craig, obviously he was the opposition, yeah. To be honest, I think he was just stuck in the middle. But Craig fully understands what we did, and I give Craig all the support I can, and I advertise the leisure centre as much as I can. I will put a link at the bottom of this video. You can actually do a virtual tour, and so you can go in the sensory room, you can see the toilets and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, so we got the money, and we finally what's it called? I'm gonna say we finally, come on, Colin. Yeah, that was it. Because we'd won the battle with Trafford Council, we have now set a precedent that all further leisure centres in Trafford Council will have to have at least that equipment. If it's a new build, we want a hydrotherapy pool as well. We don't believe in any sort of discrimination. So, after I changed my career a bit, I was away from this sort of work, sort of thing, so I had no investment, no, what's the word I'm looking for, no contact with the disabled community, basically, because the work I wasn't in the disabled community. But last year, I got back into it, and I was working for a company. And whilst I was at Brentwood School, there was a Ford Transit, I think it was a 15 or 17 seater minibus. This vehicle comes into the school, picks up a couple of wheelchairs and a couple of kids, yeah. Well, it was parked next to me, and I noticed the front left side, near side wheel, two next to each other, wheel studs snapped off. Now, under the PSV rules, well, under any rules, even the MOT, yeah, that vehicle is immediately put off the road. You can't drive it on the road. If you want to repair it, you have to do it there on the floor or have it recovered back to a garage. I informed the staff, yeah, they weren't interested. I think they just wanted to get the kids away so they can go home, yeah. I also spoke to the driver, and he said, well, what am I supposed to do? I said, well, you'll have to bring out another bus. No, you can't drive that. But Brentwood School and Trafford Council let that vehicle leave the school. So out of the 5 wheel studs, what should be holding the wheel on, there was only 3. I do know another operator reported that to Trafford Council, but that vehicle was back the next day. Yes, it had been repaired, but why hadn't Trafford Council punished him or something? Not mean, because it clearly it put kids' lives at risk. So Trafford Council, when they say all this stuff, how good we are and that, they're basically telling you what you want to hear. When you question them, you're the problem, you're the troublemaker. Even though they're breaking the law or they're at fault, yeah, they brush over that. It's you who's the problem. Now, as I told you, Trafford Council have an interim injunction at the moment, because the amount of stuff I've got, what's going to be coming out about Trafford Council, behaviour, in the next video, you've seen me post up about a solicitor Trafford Council are using. What was his name? James Parry. Been reported to GMP, the charity commissions, the Attorney General, and the Solicitor Regulation Authority. So I sent an email to Trafford Council asking, have they done the checks? So on the next video, we'll be going through the reply from Trafford Council from a lady called Dominique Sykes. She is the, I think, like the head corporate legal whatever, yeah. We'll be reading out her response to my questions, and then I'll be giving you some more evidence about this James Parry, because I have been in contact and people have been in contact with me, so we have gathered a lot more information, but that'll be on the next video. All I can say to any parent whose children travel on these vehicles, yeah, watch everything. If you think something's wrong or not quite right, challenge it, because accidents happen and we don't want to see any accidents in Trafford. Right, I'm going to shoot off for now. I've been talking for too long. I'm going to go and pick my son up from school and make his tea. So bye for now. I might do the weekend over the weekend the video about James Parry and the response from Trafford Council, and I think you might get a bit of a shock with what I found out. Okay then, bye for now.